Hello, welcome back to Cracking Cryptic, and gonna have a look at a puzzle called Uniqueness with a Nudge by R. Mullenix today. I'll explain the rules in a minute. I do want to mention we were in the Blueprints house last night, not doing very well, but thank you to those people in chat who joined us and all those who commented on the VOD, and it's good fun. We'll be back, well, I don't know if we'll be back there. We'll be back streaming next week, I think. And we do enjoy the interaction, if I'm honest. Also, there was a new Gridogram video on Patreon yesterday, and the connections the day before. So plenty going on. Oh no, yeah, that's right. And of course, we've also got the monthly Sudoku hunt up now, which is Blobs' marvelous indexing puzzle pack. Absolutely brilliant variations on indexing puzzles. You literally find yourself getting smarter as you get more accustomed to the rules as you go along in that puzzle. And when I say literally, I think I mean literally for once. Not maybe literally getting smarter, but you certainly realize that you are assimilating the rules of 159 Sudoku, which is really interesting. It's a good experience. Do check out that pack and everything we have on Patreon. There's also our apps, which feature Line Sudoku and Killer and Domino Sudoku, but also Classic Sudoku 2 and the Worms. Have a look at all the links under the video with so many ways to interact with the channel. And let's have a look at Uniqueness with a Nudge by R. Mullenix. So the rules, there's a few rules, but they're all the sort of normal ones apart from the main modifier. I do like modifier puzzles and I'm looking forward to this, but it might be difficult. So normal Sudoku rules apply this far. We have to place the digits 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. But we also have to find 9 nudge cells in the grid, 1 in each row, column, and 3x3 box. So they could be in these positions perhaps. And each containing a different digit. So it's a set of the digits 1 to 9 in each row, column, and 3x3 box. The value of a nudge cell equals the digit in the cell plus 1. It's just nudged up the value. Now, for all of the clue types listed, no value may appear more than once on each clue type. So if a cage contains the value 4, no other cage can contain the value 4. And that's talking about the values, which is either the digit or the nudge cell, and then it's the digit plus 1. Right, here are those individual rules. So German whispers, if 2 cells are joined by a green line, their values must have a difference of at least 5. Cells separated by a white dot are consecutive values. Cells separated by a black dot, one value is double the other. There's this, in a cage, you can't repeat a value in a cage, nothing else about the cages. And along the blue line, the blue diagonal, values do not repeat. Digits might, values don't. There is a note on the puzzle that in the settings you must turn your conflict checker off or put it to classic Sudoku. Otherwise, it might claim that you've put in wrong digits because it's not recognizing the values in modified cells, I guess. Do give this a try. It's probably not easy. Check the video length for proof of that, perhaps. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. So, it's a strange old concept. Modifiers that are just plus 1. Right, now I'm going to look at these 3 black cells, well, 2 black dots, i.e. a run of 3 cells. Now the values are all different. Okay, so do we have to... So the only extra value we're bringing into the set of Sudoku values is the number 10 today. Oh yeah, I see. I do see. Look, there are 7 black dot cells in this puzzle. Normally, if we were given this uniqueness rule that there has to be a different black dot cell on each black dot, or a different value in each black dot cell, we would say there were only Oh, it's weird though, because now 5 has become a possible black dot value and 10. Right, I'm sorry, just need to think about this. Right, possible black dot values in this puzzle are now, there's a family that goes 1, 2, 4, 8. There's a little family that goes 3, 6. There's another little family that we have to introduce that goes 5, 10. Yeah, that must be right. And we are looking for 7 values. And they're all different. So we have to get into the family that goes 5, 10. And therefore, one of these yellow cells is the only value 10 cell in the puzzle. There are 9 modifier cells that have their values nudged up by 1. So instead of being a set of 1 to 9, they're now a set of values 2 to 10. But there's only one 10 in the puzzle, and it's in one of these yellow cells, I think. Yes, it is right. So these will come from 1, 2, 4, 8. And this pair will have the values of 3, 6, 5, and 10. Clearly the modifier cell is in this row. The modified 9 is in this row in one of these. So these digits are 3, 5, 6, and 9. One of them is modified, and the other digits in the row are not modified. They're natural. I'm going to colour natural cells green, modifiers red if I can find them. And this set of digits, you see, this set of digits are using values from 1, 2, 4, 8, but not necessarily digits from 1, 2, 4, 8. They're using digits from 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8. Oh, that's so strange. But it's true. Now, there's also these green lines. Now, these are very short green lines, and you would normally think, wow, they're not very helpful. But remember the uniqueness rule. Every value on these green lines is different. Now, here's the new rule today. 5 can appear on a green line as long as it's next to 10. Isn't that weird? I mean, it's just weird when our normal standards get subverted in this way. Now, how many cells have I highlighted? I've highlighted 10 cells. Let's make them pink. These 10 cells have to be the values 1 to 10. Right. So the value of 10, we know it's in this row from what we did in black dots. So one of these is 9 getting nudged up to a 10. So one of them is a 9. So these don't include 9. Indeed, the 10 here is sitting on a black dot with a 5 in one of those cells. So one of these two is a 5 and is natural. And the 10 is the unnatural cell in this row. It's one of these two. And it is sitting next to, we have to get a 5 onto these green lines, and we can only do it next to the 10. So it's in one of these 4 cells. I don't know if it's going to be a natural 5, because if it's up here, it could be a funky 4. So that's going to account for 5 and 10. Now the other cells, obviously something else will be next to the 10, and that will be a low digit. It won't be another 5 because it can't repeat. So it'll be a regular 1, 2, 3, or 4. So one of these will go 5, 10 low. Now the other cells we have available are 9, 8, 7, 6, 4 high digits and 3 of the low digits. Well, these will use 2 highs and 2 lows to maintain the difference of 5. And the other side from the 5, 10 low, I don't know which side is which yet, but the other side from the 5, 10 low, we're going to be using high, low, high. So the middle digit will be low, and will therefore be a 3. So these are a 3-9 pair with a 5-6 pair on the inside. These 5-6 pair are natural. And these, oh no, this cell that touches that on the white dot is from 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, okay, there's this sort of weird circle of that is joined to this by a black dot, which is then joined to this by white, this by white. But then we've got to be different here. So maybe one way round it does work. If this was 3 and this was 6, then we'd have to get up to at least 8 here. So it would go 3, 6, 7, 8. If this was 10 and this was 5, this would have to be low, but it could be 5 again. The value of, oh, if that was 10, this would have to be natural. Oh, that's really weird though. If it's 6, no, if it's 3, this could get nudged up to an 8 by being a 7. Oh, I don't understand. There must be some constraint in here about not having a funky cell, because it'll be sitting next to the same. Oh, I don't know. Okay, let's just go back to first principles. I mean, we're doing okay. We're doing okay here. I've made progress. That is not 5 or 6, because we've had a 5-6 pair in the box, and they're natural, so they're real digits. So this digit is 4 or 7. I've just realized I have to add 3 in, because it might be nudged up to a value of 4 to sit next to the 5. However, yeah, that's right. Could this be a 7? Yes, if we were going 3, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I'm still getting very confused. This nudging concept is much more confusing than I'd expected, if I'm honest. Okay, need to think clearly. I don't think the diagonal's any use yet. Maybe the white dots, where we can't have a repeat value at all. Now, these are going to have values of 10 and 3. On the 3 side, we're going to be putting 8 and 9. Values of 8 and 9 touching it. On the 10 side, we're going to be putting values of 5 and something low. Can this be a value of 5? If this was 4 and this was 5 and this was 10, yes. I need to find another instance of a funky cell or something, or work out where the funky one goes in the puzzle. I don't know what I'm talking about. Right, let's go back to this. These are values of either 1, 2, 4 or 2, 4, 8. Sorry, I don't know. Okay, let's think about the normally monogamous digits. That's interesting. Right, one of these has a value of 10 and one of them has a value of 3. Neither of those is sitting next to a value of 6, because it's 4 away from one of the digits and 3 away from the other, from the values. So the value of 6 on a green line is on one of these two with a value of 1. Now, whether or not that is a funky 5 and a 1 or a 6 and a 1, there's going to be a pair in the column. Now, if this was values of 6 and 1, then you could neither have 1 as a value here, nor a funky 1 acting as a 2. So these would have values of 2, 4, 8. These would have values of 6, 1. That would probably be a 5. I don't know how this works. Okay, I'm going back to these cells. These are 10 and 3 as values. So these are either 8 or 9 as values, or 1, 2, 3, or 4. It doesn't feel very helpful, that. It really doesn't. Although there is going to be a sequence of the values in the row from here. If this was 8 or 9, that sequence will have to go downwards. Well, this couldn't be 8, because it'd come down to a value of 6 here. And that would either be done with a 5 or a 6, which is not possible in this box. Okay, I got as far as thinking about 6 and 1 being values on one of these little green lines. Now what about the number 4? The trouble is that can touch 10. What about the number 7? The value 7, that can't go next to 10 or 3 either. So the value 7 will be on the other line with a 2. Okay, so the values down here will be 6, 1, 7 and 2. Now, I've written those digits in, but I'm treating them as values. So let's put dangerous digits in orange. These are values, not digits. And they're all used up. The values on these green lines of 1, 2, 6, 7 are all used up. So these are going to be a 9 and a 9 representing a 10 there and a 3. The 10 is going to be touching 5 and 4. And the 3 is going to be touching 8 and 9. So let's go orange again for these cells. And their values are 8 and 9 and 3, no, and 4 and 5. These are values, not digits. Wow, so the 10, which is represented by a 9, is going to be touching a 4, not a funky 3, because the 10 is already going to be a funky cell. I wish I knew which side of the grid the funky cell is happening. I really do. Oh! 10 couldn't be touching a 4 beneath it, because it would be I'm talking about values, because it would be touching a 5 on the black dot, and this digit would have to be, this value would have to be consecutive with a 5 above and a 4 on its right. So neither of these are values of 4, and therefore the value of 4 is in one of those two cells. Okay, that's good to know. And therefore the value of 5 is not in one of those two cells, because if 4 is in one of those two cells, the value of 5 must be in one of these two. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So the value of 5 is in one of these two cells. Now, that cannot be connecting to a value of 6 in box 5, where we've already used the digits 5 and 6. So whichever one of these is 5 is connecting to a value of 4 in one of those two cells. And on the other side, we've either got 8 or 9 value-wise. And that has got to run down to, because it either has to form a sequence of values here, which can't go up to 10. They would have to either go 8, 7, 6. So this is values again, either 8, 7, 6 or 9, 8, 7 from that side. From this side, you're going to have to connect to that. So this would be 8, 7, 6. It couldn't be a 9 here. So this can't have a value of 9 because you can't connect it to that. Right. And from the 5, we're moving down to a value of 4 in one of those cells, which either connects with a 5 there or goes on to a value of 3 here. These are values as well, so I should put them in orange. 5, 4, 3, 7, 8 is one possible combination of values, not digits. And this could go 987 in value terms, or 876, or of course 543. Now, this digit cannot be an actual 6 because we've had a 5-6 pair. So if that had a value of 6, oh, it can't be a value of 6 at all. So this doesn't go 876. Right. So these are, oh my goodness, these values, this is weird. These are values of either 543 there, 78 this side, or 987 here, 45 this side. Okay, I'm not making any dramatizations here when I say I'm extraordinarily confused now. These have values of 10 and 5. No, 10 and 3. These are 5s and 6s. So we're either going 5, 4, 5 there. So let's consider these. 5, 4, 3, 7, 8 are the necessary values in one construction, and 9, 8, 7, 4, 5 in the others. None of those would need a funky digit. The 98745 couldn't have a funky 6 here, couldn't use a funky 7 or 8 in those cells, couldn't use a funky 4 there next to a real 4. So the only way there could be a funky digit there if it was 98745 is to actually be written 98735. If instead the values are 5, 4, 3, 7, 8, the 8 can't be funky, nor can the 4 or 5. The 3 could be, but it would be a 2, but not, that would be acceptable. Even though it would look like 2 2s on the diagonal, one of them would be crazy. Okay, what about this black dot trio? Now we're seeing that 4 or 8 value down there. But this can't be funky, this cell, because it would be sitting next to the actual digit that you used. So that's a natural 4 or 8. If that was a 3 acting as a 4, it would have to sit next to a 3 here, or an 8 acting as a 9. No, a 7 acting as an 8 would have to sit next to a 7. So that's genuine. Right. Oh, no, not right. I was getting excited there. I was going to say, so now this is a 1, 2, 4 triple. Oh. Okay, you can't put a 2 digit in there. Right, the 2 value in one of these two is genuine, because 1 has to be a genuine digit as well in these 4, and is therefore already used in the box. So there is a genuine 2 in one of those cells. Now, if that genuine 2 was here, what are we doing with this black dot then? Then I think the only way we could form this is by having a funky 1 and 4 and 8, and that would break this cell. Yeah, that is right. The values of 2 and 4 must appear up here. So if we were using a digit 2 down here, the only way we could do that is with 1, 4, 8 up here, including the funky cell, and that would break this. So that is not where the 2 goes. Bingo. Oh, this is hard. That's where the 2 goes. And it goes with a value of 7 here. Now, that value of 7 is either formed by a funky 6 or a real 7. Over here, we have a value of 1, which is a real 1. And that means we can't use the value of 1 up here. So these values are 2, 4, and 8. But we can't use the digits 2, 4, and 8 because they would break that cell. So one of those is achieved with a funky cell. And that uses the funky cell for the box and also for the column. So these are all genuine digits, and the 1 is going with a 6 down here. And now that is a 7 and is a genuine digit too. And this digit has to become a 5, and there's our 3rd digit in the puzzle. That digit becomes a 6. We're going to do stuff with these in a moment. First of all, I'm just going to say that these are either, well, they're using a genuine 2 to represent 2, and then either a funky 3 and an 8, or a 4 and a funky 7. Which is quite hard to determine, but that's what's happening. Now, this is a 5 connecting on the black dot to a funked up 9. That's a genuine 3 on this side. That 3 is connecting with an 8 below, a value of 8 below, and a value of 9 above. That's why I'm leaving them in orange. These are value cells. That has to be a value of 7. Oh, this is a horrible clash. This hasn't worked now. I've messed up. No! Because I can't put a funky 6 here. And I apparently can't put a 7 there. Oh, I thought all this logic was gloriously, fabulously right. Oh dear. I'm going to have to go back a long way to find out what I've misassumed. And I think what I've done, I mean, having done the thinking about the bottom stuff, maybe I'm going to be able to recapitulate it quickly when I get there. But let's go back to here. This was all right. About those being, well, was it all right? Could 6 be on the outside and 3 be on the inside? Why did I say 3? Oh, because I worked out that if we were going on the 10 side, if we were going 5, 10 low, and these are low, high, and these are low, high, then on the other side, we're going high, low, high. I did work that out. I was just thinking maybe the mistake came because I put 3 on the outside and 6 on the inside, but I still think that has to be right. If the value had a 6 on the outside, the 6 would be surrounded by 1 and 2, and you couldn't use the 7 down here at all. That wouldn't work. Right. So somewhere else I went wrong, but let's just go back to this point. So these have 3 and 10 as values in. These ones, the 10 side, well, now is when we think about 6 and 7, and those values have to be down here with 1 and 2 as values. Using orange for values. And the 1 has to be a genuine 1, and therefore the 2 has to be a genuine 2, and in one of these cells. And therefore there's a 7 touching it above and not below. Okay, that's all fine. Now, the 3, yeah, I might have figured out the white sequences, the white dot sequences wrong. The 10 is going to connect with now that we've used 1 and 2 and 3, the 10 is going to connect with a 5 and a 4 as values, one side or the other. And the 3 is going to connect with an 8 and a 9 as values. So these values are 8, 9, 5 or 4. If that was 8, this can't be 9 because of this white dot connection. It would be 7 going to 6. If it was 5, this would be 5. This digit could be 6 or 4 in that case. And I may not have allowed for those two possibilities. If this was 4, that's a 6. This would have to be 5 as a value, which isn't impossible. I've definitely not allowed for all of those possibilities. But this is the cell that kind of led me to the conclusions up here. Maybe that wasn't sound. So this has a value of either 4, 5, 8 or 9. If it's 4 or 5, that's a 10 and this is a 5. So it would but there's no white dot connection here. Is that what I got wrong? I don't know. No, if this is 4 or 5, we can't work with a value of 6 in one of these cells because you can't put a value of 6 in one of those cells. So we'd have to go down from 4 or 5 to a value of 3 and 2 or 4 and 3. These are values here. If it was 9 or 8, you have to go down because you can't go up. So if it's 9, we go down to 8 or 7. If it's 8, we go down to 7 and 6. But we can't go down to a value of 6 because of these. So we rule out 6, 7, 8 as values there. Now, can I rule out 4, 3, 2 as values, which I obviously did before? Maybe that's not justified. Right. Now, where did things go wrong? Things went a bit wrong here, didn't they? Because there's either a 6 or a 7 value down here. Now that could be, the 6 value could be achieved with the digit 5. And if that happened, this would have to be 6 and 7. If you have a 6 here, this has to be 5 and 4. Oh, if this is 5, that's a 10. This is value of 9. No, that's a green line. If that's a 5, that's a value of 10. This is 4 or 5, but it has to be a value of 5. Oh, I think when I did that, I then said, this can't have a value of 4, because that would be 10 and this would be 5, and that wouldn't work that way round. So if that can't have a value of 4, this one can't have a value of 5. I think I extended that to both sides, and that might have been my mistake. This was where I was saying it's unbearably complex. I was dead right about that. Right. This now has a value of 5, 8, or 9. This can't have a value of 5. It could be 4 or 6. Or 7. So this can't have a value of 9 anymore, if that's right. Yeah, that is right. We can't connect up to that. Therefore, this can't have a value of 8 anymore. So we are narrowing these two cells down a bit, but not the others. And now I've still got 3 possibilities in here, which I didn't have before. I've also got 3 possibilities here, which is interesting. These are value possibilities. No, but let's look at this, because if one of these has a, if this was 6 and 7, you'd have to be using a funky 5 down here with a 1. And then this would be the 2, 7 side. And that would use a real 2. So up here, you'd have to use a funky 1 and a 4 and an 8, and that would be 3. Value of 3. Oh So it was this cell that I decided had to be real before. Is that still true? I think it is. If you had a funky 2 here, it would be sitting next to a real 2 there. Funky 4 would be sitting next to... No, funky 3 would be sitting next to a real 3, and funky 7 would be sitting next to a real 7. That has to be genuine. I think this has to be genuine because we're always ascending going this way, and it's the same deal. Now, this is where I got in trouble. Oh, this, I was going to say, hang on, this can't have a value of 2. Even that is wrong, because that doesn't necessarily have a value of 2 on the diagonal. That might have a value of 3. Oh, madness. Crazy times. Right, let's go back to the black digits. These have values from 1, 2, 4, 8. But down here, there's a genuine 1 or 2 in use. So I don't think these can have values of 1, 2, 4. Because you'd have to use a real 1 to make 1, and then a real 2 to make 2. And that would blow this out. So these have values of 2, 4, 8. Values of 2, 4, 8. These are just values. So we could be using 1, 4, 8, 2, 3, 8, or 2, 4, 7. Oh my goodness, that 2, 4, 7 is wildly tempting. Right, there must be some connection here. If that, so let's think about those possibilities. If we were using, we could also use genuine 2, 4, 8. I think that goes wrong. If these were genuine 2, 4, 8, we'd have to have 1 and either a 5 or 6 here. This would be a 3. That would be a 4. This would be a normal 9. No, this would be a funky 9 with a value of 10, and that would be 5. So then we'd have a genuine 6 here. Do you know, I think that could work. Genuine 2, 4, 8 there does seem to work with a 3 here. Okay. Have to live with that possibility. It seems to be possible. What about 1, 4, 8 using a funky 1? Then these would have to be 2, 7. Again, this would be 3. That's interesting. So maybe that's what to think about. What if this was 2, 3, 8? That would have to be 4. This would be 1 and either a 5 or a 6, as would that. I don't know. And the other possibility, which I haven't even thought about yet, is 2, 4, 7 as the actual digits here. Ah, no, okay. So if this was 1, 4, 8, these have to be genuine digits because we've used the funky one. So they would be 2, 7. That would be 3. If they were 2, 3, 8, we'd have used the funky digit. This is 1, 6. That would be 4. That would be 5. Five, 10. Ah, that works. This is extraordinarily hard to get a handle on. And I obviously took a step too far last time. Okay, this is irritating. 35 minutes in, I'm still utterly confused about the opening. Oh, that's the way it goes sometimes. Have to just keep focus. These orange cells are values. And these values are definitely 2, 4, and 8. That's what we know. But you could use the digits 2, 4, 7. Then you're using the digits 6, 1 here, 5 here. So that's 10. I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of confluence between the greens that I haven't worked out. There could be. If this was 8, that's 3, that's 9. Eight, 7. Wow, I just don't know how this works. So where did I go wrong before? The problem came here, didn't it? When I said that this side might be a 6, we had all sorts of problems then. Yeah, this digit being a 6, a natural 6. Means that's a natural 3. This is a natural 8. This would be a natural 7. Because it couldn't be a funky 6 if that's a 6. So you would now have 6 and 7 here. Right, you could still achieve this pair with a funky 5. With a 5-1 pair down here. So that being a 6 puts a 7 here and a 5-1 pair down here. Now this is a genuine 2-7 pair. This then can't use a genuine 2 and has to be 1-4-8. And then this is 3, that's 4. It does work, just. There is a way of working it, even with that being a 6. And this would be a natural 7. If this is a 5, this has a value of 4 or 6, which is either a natural 6 or a natural 4 or a funky 3. If those were 4, 5, these go 9, 8, 7, I think. Okay, for this digit, which is natural to be an 8, this must go 1, 4, 7. Then you can't use a 1 here. You've got to use a 2. But I don't think that works. This being an 8 seems to fail. These then have to be 2, 4, 7. No, it's okay. Or is it? If that's 8 and these are 2, 4, 7, this is 1, 6, and you could use a fake 5. That's really weird. I'm almost coming up to the conclusion that we're definitely using a fake 5 down here. I don't know. I think maybe the two possibilities I've examined have required a fake 5. Right. What I was saying is, if that's an 8, you can't use 8 up here, so you have to use 2, 4, 7. No fakes allowed here anymore. Ah. Yeah, this won't work. Right, this can't be an 8, because those are 2, 4, 7. They use the funky digit in the column. So these have to be genuine digits, and we've used 2. So these must be the 1, 6 values down here, and those are the genuine ones. So now you've got 8 here and 5 here, but they don't go together, because 8 goes next to 9, but 5 goes next to 10, and that's a bad match. Wow, so this can't be 8. And that means this doesn't have a value of 7, and this doesn't have a value of 9. This is low. This is the high, the funky 9 is here. And that's the genuine 5. Right, this is correct. that has a value of 4 or 5. This does too and is a genuine digit. Don't know about this yet. This is now a 6. This is a genuine 3, which is connecting to a value of 8. This is a value of 7. That has to be genuine too. It can't be a funky 6. Now we can't have, oh, look at that down here. We can't use either a 6 or a 7. So we have to use a funky 5 and a 1. And that is the green cell for the box and for the column. Done. It's here in one of these. Now we can't use 1 here, and we've got to use genuine values, so we've got to use a 2 and a 7. And now up here we can't use an apparent 2, so we've got to use a funky 1 in one of those 2 cells. And that's a genuine 4 now. That's a genuine cell. And in this column, that 4 has made this digit a 3. This is a 4 then. This has a value of 5, but I don't know whether it's funky or not. This has a value of 9, but again, could be a funky 8. So we'll pause on those orange digits. This has a value of 8 and must now be a genuine because we can't put a 7 there. This has a value of 2. And I can't write a 3 in there, so I'm writing a 2 in, and that is now genuine. And this 2 is clearly not genuine because it's on the diagonal and has to have a different value. So that has a value of 3. This is now not able to be the funky cell in this row. In fact, we can colour all sorts of green because of finding that funky 2. I've just realised this red has meant all sorts of green here. This is the last possible funky cell in box 5, weirdly. This is definitely funky and is therefore the 5 funked up to a 6. Wow. Now we can start working out what funky cells we've used. 5, 2, 9 and a 1 up here. 3, 6, 7. This must be a 4 or an 8, even though its value will never matter. That's what it is, being... Oh, also we've used 5 and 9. But these might be 4s and 8s. I'm going to remove those candidates. I'm going to put in 9 or 8 there, 5 or 4 there, depending on whether they are nudged. Sorry, I keep using funky because I can't be bothered to remember the real name of the cell. I'm sorry about that. This digit is a 9 by Sudoku. That's a 6. That is 4 or 8 by Sudoku, and that is a 1. 8 is over this side. 4 is over this side. I'm going to think about the cages soon, because... Oh, also about the diagonal. Clearly 10, which only sits here in the whole puzzle, does not appear on this diagonal. So the values on this diagonal must be a set of the values from 1 to 9. And we've already used 2, 3 and 5. So let's bear that in mind as we go. He says, confident that he will forget that fact in a moment. Right. 8 has to... Oh, it's in the cages. 8... I don't know. I was going to say 8 can't appear in this cage, but its value could. So I have to wind my neck in a bit. One of those digits is a 9. Goodness. Anyway, at least we've got to where we've got to. That digit has to appear here by Sudoku. And therefore this is a 2, 3, 9 triple up here. And this is a 5, 6, 7 triple, one of which is a funky digit that is not the 5 which we've had. 9's in one of those, there's a 3 down here. Right, just doing my pencil marking. I've done almost all the green lines. Obviously these are yet to be resolved. I do want to think about the cage, but again, the 9 cells that are caged in this puzzle do not contain a value of 10. So they are the values 1 to 9 exactly once each. and I think that's worth something to us. 3 and 8 are not in this cage, but I don't know, is that any use? There's, I was going to say there's a genuine 4 there, but I don't know that. It could be, no, these have to be green and 4 has to be in them. So there is a genuine 4 in this cage already. I've done all the white dots. I've effectively done all the black dots once I get these resolved. There's a 9 in one of those 2 cells by Sudoku, the digit, and it will be natural because we've had a nudged 9 before. 8, 8. I don't even know where we can turn to next. By Sudoku, there's a 2 somewhere down here. I mean, this is wildly away from anything useful. Oh, those are definitely green because of this red. And these are definitely green. Why have I not been able to do that? I don't know. These are definitely green. So one of these is red. Okay, red digits. We've had 9. 1 is the red digit up here because of the black dots. 5 and 2 and that. We've still got red digits of 3, 6 and 7 to find. And either 8 or 4, which is why I cannot tell if those are natural. If that was natural, it would be an 8, and that would be a natural 9. Yeah, that works fine. These are from 2, 4 and 7, and they're natural in the cage. These ones, I don't know, I feel like they're from 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, which is a huge variety of possibility and doesn't really endear itself to helping me find out what's going on. Six can't be funky here. Wow, I'm very, very stuck now. Oh, hang on. If this was a 9, how are you going to get the value of 9 into the cage except by putting it there? Oh, you could still have... No, you couldn't have a dodgy 8 up here. This is quite interesting. I don't think you can have a dodgy 8 up here because that would make this cell a 1, but that needs to be red as well. So there can't be a dodgy 8 in one of these cells. And this can't be a dodgy 8. So the 9 value in the cages is a genuine 9. Oh, goodness me. If that was a genuine 9, then none of these cage cells could contain 9. And that would be a 9. Alternatively, if this is a funky 8, you can't have a genuine... no. Well, maybe I could say this can't be a 9, because then we can't put a genuine 9 in any of those cells, but then we can here. Then that has to be a funky 8. Maybe we're working on this always being funky. if that's a genuine 9, this can then be a genuine 9. Although then you're having difficulty getting 9 onto the diagonal. But it's only the value of, I don't know, that's wildly difficult again. I mean, there must be something we can do, but it's very, very hard to see what it is at the moment. It's very hard. Right. Again, I don't know, but I'm going to keep trying and plugging away. 9, 4, 8, 3 is in one of those cells and is natural. Maybe we just need to find some natural digit that's very hard. No, yeah, maybe it is a natural digit. Two, for instance, has already been nudged here. 2 can't be nudged in one of those cells. And yet there is a nudger in one of those cells, which is also not a 6. Oh, is it about repeating a digit? Yeah, hang on. We haven't had a funky 3 yet. We can't have a funky 3 in this box because we've had a normal one. We can't have it in the cage because that would have a value of 4, which is already going to appear in the cage here. So the funky 3 is well, it leaves lots of places it could be, doesn't it? I mean, the trouble with this puzzle is loads of the cells in it aren't even on a clue, like this one. So you just don't know what digit they're going to be yet. Or is it these? We have to get a value of 3 or 8 into the cage. We have to get a value of 8 into the cage. That cannot be a funky 7. None of these can be funky. None of them can be 8s. We have to get a value of 8 into the cage. We have to do it up here. If we did it with a funky 7, that would have to be genuine and would be a 9. If we did it with a funky 7, that digit could not be funky anymore and would be a genuine 8. If we did it with a genuine 8 in one of these cells, it is indeed in one of these cells where the value of 8 resides in the cage. If it's a genuine 8, that's a 1 and is funky. If it's a fake 7, that's an 8, because it's not funky. I wish I knew it couldn't be a fake 7. That would actually advance. Oh, but there's also getting the value of 3 into the cage is not so hard because of this. You couldn't put a value of 3 into this bit of the cage because that can't be a fake 2. I mean, there is also a value of 1 in the cage. But that could sit in any of these cells. It doesn't have to be up here, which would be incredibly helpful. I don't know. I do think it's all about this and these resolving those cells. But I don't know how it works. And we need a 9 in the cage. That was where I began thinking, maybe it's all about all the values in the cage. Why am I finding this so difficult to grasp? There must be one value that's really difficult to get in the cage. I mean, I thought 8 was quite difficult. And I do now know that the value of 8 will appear in one of those cells. It'll either be a genuine 8, making that a genuine 9, or it'll be a fake 7, making that genuine again, because the fake will have appeared. So either 8 will have appeared in one of those cells, or fake will have appeared in one of those cells, and either way, this is a genuine 9. That has taken me about 15 minutes on its own. But it could be a big deal, because now 9 goes here. 9 cannot be fake, because we've had a red 9 before. So this is a red cell. These are now green. That 9 means this isn't a 9, but we do need a 9 value in the cage, which is either a genuine 9 here, or a fake 8 here. Oh, what are the other digits in this row? 1, 5, and 6. The red digit cannot be 5 or 1. So that red digit is a 6. That is a value of 7 appearing in the cage. So these can't have a 7. They are 2 and 4. These are 7 and 8. Those are 1 and 5. These 3 are deducible. 2, 3, 6. These are 1, 5, 7, but we've already had the value of 7 in the cage. So the 7 falls outside the cage there. Now in the cages, we've had 1, 2, 4, 5, 7. This is 3 or 9. We need 3, 6, 8, 9 as values in the cage. This digit is genuine and is 3, 6, 8 or 9. Well, it sees 3 of them, so that's a 6. This is genuine and is not 9, so it's 3 or 8. This has a value of 3, 8 or 9. So it's either a genuine 3 or 8, or a funky, not 2, but a funky 7. Wow. Okay, well that was some progress. That was far more progress than I was expecting. Now we know there is we've had a 6, 2, 5, 9, 1. 3, 4, 7, and 8 are the remaining funked up digits. There's a 9 in one of these cells by Sudoku. These are from 1, 4, 5. The cage needs what? 3, 8, and 9 as values. So one of these digits is a 3, and they all see that one, so that's not a 3. There must be consequences. If this is funky, that's not, and is 8. So then this must go 7, 3, 6, 5, 8. Maybe it's the diagonal now. Oh my goodness. We needed a 9 value on the diagonal. Well, it's not there or there now. And it's not there. So the 9 value on the diagonal is most likely a genuine 9 here. Could it possibly be a funky 8 here? No, because that would leave these being 3 and genuine 7, which is not the value we need. So that cannot be the 9 value on the diagonal. This is the 9 value on the diagonal. But is it 9 or is it a funky 8? Gosh, this is just too much to ask me to keep thinking about this every time. If it was a funky 8, that's a funky 4 then. Then we've had 8, 4, 9, 1, 6, 2, 5. We would need 3 and 7 in the remaining funkster cells. There is a 9 X-Wing, I was going to say. Well, it doesn't help, but it's true. These values are 3, 8, and 9. So, one of these values is 9, but also one of these values is 9. It's very hard to imagine those two, or this being a funky 8. No, maybe not. Maybe it's not that hard to imagine. Wow, I just don't know yet. Okay, maybe more on the diagonal then. We've had 5, 2, 3, 9, 1, 4, 6, 8, 7 to go, including a genuine 4 or 8 there. So 1, 6, 7 and another 4 or 8. 1 must be placed on the diagonal somewhere. And it must be a genuine 1. I don't know. We didn't find the fake digit here. We've got red. We might still have red 4 to go. Oh, this digit appears there. Is that significant for these two? No, it's not. Goodness me. There is a 9 down here along with 1, 4 or 5. It's got to be about this cage and this 3, 8, 9 group. Okay, so if this was the fake out cell, it can't be a fake 8. Because that would simultaneously have to not be an 8 and not be a fake, and that's not possible. So this isn't a fake 8. If it's fake, it's a 7. And then that's a 3. If it's fake, it's a 7, and that's a 3. And this is then a genuine 8. 7, 3, 8, 6, 5. These would be from 1, 2, 4, 9 up here. Digits. Digits. No faking. Don't know. Oh, hang on. This can't be the fake 8 because that's impossible then. This couldn't, yeah, so obvious. Wow. I mean, I'm literally saying it out loud and I can't hear the consequences. That can't be the fake 8 because that would then have to be both non-8 and non-fake, which isn't possible. So therefore the 9 in the cage can only be achieved here with a 9. And that sorts out 2 and 3 here at least. That 9 means this digit is an 8 and a fake. And that's a big deal because all of these go green. We found fake 8, that's fake 4. And now we know there's a fake 1, 8, 9, 4, 5, 2, 6. We need a fake 3 or 7 down here in the corner. And a fake 3 or 7 in one of these cells. Could be in the corner, is not here. Right. Well, now on the diagonal we've had 9, 8, 5, 2, 3. We're left needing 1, 4, 6 and 7 and they're all genuine digits. So I can pencil mark them, surely. 6 can't be in either corner based on a couple of perimeter 6s. So one of these two is a 6. Interesting, but no, it's not. 6 digit is looking at that. So this is the 6. Good. More than interesting. Successful. So this, a 6. Why did I write 9? Okay, now in this row, we need a 2 in this row. That's no good. Let's go back to the diagonal. We've got this 1, 4, 7 triple, but I can't eliminate any of those digits as far as I can see. Now, these have to represent 3 and 8. That one obviously is natural. This one might be. If they were both natural, this would be a fake 1. Oh, this can't be 6. We've placed 6 in box 2. I hadn't seen that. That 8 is in fact looking at this digit, which is a 7. Now we need an 8 in one of those cells. That's not a 6. This is natural and has to be a 5. That's been available for, well, since I got this fake 8. Okay, that's a 7. This is not a 5. That 7 puts a 5 up here. One of these 3 is a 5. 8, 5, 7, 1. We need a 9 in this column, a physical digit 9. That's where it is. It's almost. There's only 2 9s left to put in the puzzle at all. That 3 or 7, which is a fake down there, has to be in one of these 2 cells, the digit, not the fake. Still making gradual piece-by-piece process. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're going to do it. This digit is 3 or 8. We've got 3 and 7. 3 and 7 as red digits must appear once each in these cells. Well, they're all looking at that. That can't be a 7. Oh no, they're not all looking at this. This could be a 7 only if that could be a 7 as a red cell, but that can't be a 7 because of this. So that's not 7. So we found 7 on the diagonal too. Now I've got a 1, 4 pair at the extremes of the diagonal that I can't resolve. But I know there is a 7 in one of those 2 cells. If that was genuine, this would be the red 7 fake. If this was the red 7 fake, that would be a red 3. But that would be a 3 as well. Oh yeah, one of these will work and one of them won't. I don't know which way round it goes. That's 1, 2 or 4. This digit by Sudoku. Oh, this is not 3 or 7, so it's not fake. So now this is fake. Oh goodness, that's how to do it. That's fake in the corner. I've known that's fake forever. I just hadn't readied it. Right, this in the cage cannot be 8 being faked as a 9, and it can't be 3 being faked as a 4. So it's 7 becoming an 8. That's a 3. This is going to finish it. That's now not fake, clearly. Whereas this is, and is the red 1. That's an 8. This is 4. That's 2. This is just Sudoku. This is 3, which is not just Sudoku, it's the last red digit. And that's 3 in the corner, although it's really 4. That's not 3. 6, 3, 7, this is an 8. That's just Sudoku. I like it being just Sudoku. 1, 2, 5. These are a 3, 7 pair. We know the order thanks to the 3 in the corner. That's now 1. That's 4 on the diagonal. That's 1. 5 and 1. I must be able to do this 1, 2, 5 triple. This is a 5, 9 pair. There's a 5 needed here. This column, that's a 6, and this is 1. 3 and 2 are done. This is 7 and 8, and then I can put in 2, 4 and 6 remaining, it looks like. This bottom row then. That can't be 9, that can't be 9, this must be 9. These digits are 3 and 8, and that's a 4. This is 8. 2 and 4 up here are done. This is a 4. That sorts out 6 and 4. These are 8 and 3, and then I can put in 3 and 6. And there we go. What an extraordinary puzzle. That was hard, hard, hard. Oh, goodness me. Well done if you've completed that. It's fried me, but a pleasure to bring it to you. Thank you for watching us on the channel. Do join us again. It's always a pleasure to have your company. Hope to see you soon. Bye for now.